Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the Gran Tourismo 25-year events. We're doing the second one, which is Willow Springs in the Escudo. And I hate to say it folks, it's a horrible setup on this car. The car's great, but the setup is just, like PD, you need to sort yourself out. If this is a championship event, you're having a laugh. We'll do the intro, then we'll see you at the event. So here we are. Yesterday we did the Manufacturers Cup. Today we're doing the Nations Cup. It's at Willow Springs. If you watch my videos, you'll know it's not my favourite track. We're going to choose the English car, even though it looks like it's got a Japanese driver in it. Don't know why that would be. But Willow Springs, here we go. Settings, you can't change anything on the car except the tyres. Assist settings when we get to it will be traction control 1. Default ABS, everything else off, and then we'll have a look and we get to the track into what our friends are doing. There we go. Fastest time of a 7:48.543, 7:49s. Now I haven't looked at the top 10 stars for a reason, because I don't want to break my heart, but my challenge for me is to set that fastest time. Let's get to the top. If you notice the time at the start of the event, about 5:04. I finished work, walked up the stairs, got stuck into a bit of this. Thought I'd give it a quick one, be easy. 7 laps, got up. No folks, not a chance. This car, you'll notice their brake balance, I've set it to 5 front because, well, what else can you do? Put it to the rear, it spins out. You leave where it is, it spins out. Even now it spins out. And I've probably done, well, you'll see at the end, 117 miles it took me to complete this event. Not entirely true. It took me 117 miles to complete this event with what you would consider to be vaguely clean laps. No spin-offs, no recoveries. I did it 2 or 3 times by having an off, spinning off on the dust and then catching back and taking the lead again. On numerous events, I was in the lead going into the last corner and the car would just leap off the track, and I'd finish 3rd. I was quite disgusted, to the point where it just confirms my belief that this track is horrible. And I say that knowing I'm making a movie of an event at this track, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that's something I've not announced on the channel, but that's what I'm planning to do. And then also, it's getting dark, folks, and I know this car ain't got any lights, but now my whinge is out of the way, let's deal with it. It's actually quite an enjoyable event if you keep it on the track. The AI aren't that much of a challenge to beat. I set myself a challenge after a number of these laps and attempts to do a 104 something. So I've done a 109 out lap before, you can see on this one we've done a 112. And as we get round to the start, we'll talk you through the lap and just make sure you're getting things right for when you do it. But if I could do a 104, I'd be happy, because a 104 to me, with traction control 1, default ABS seems to be quite competitive. And if I do 104s and 106s, I'll be able to beat that 7:58 that was at the start. So going across the start finish line, then I'll be looking to brake into this first corner just after the 100, down to 3rd gear, maybe 4th gear. We did it 4th gear this time, 3rd gear is acceptable. Accelerate hard into this corner and we change down to 4th and keep control of the car. If you change down with the gears, you'll find the back end locks up and you slide off. The AI don't run a particularly defensive line down that side, but you'll see we're already up to 1st place, or 2nd, with 1st place there, and I do like the backfires. The overrun and the fire out the exhaust is absolutely stunning. But there we go, that corner's a 3rd gear. Keep it in 3rd, if you put it in 2nd you'll slide off and run wide. So this corner's the same, you've got to brake into it, down to 3rd, up to 4th now, up to 5th, and then we'll run hard for these final corners. Some would say this is the challenging part of the circuit, where you've got to brake and turn at the same time, and this is the one where I've lost most time. So I changed down to 5th, allowing the car just to naturally slow down with the gears, apex the corner there, then accelerate through. And you'll see as we get to the end of the lap that I'm often far out to the left as we try and attempt to avoid the pits. So 104.750, that's what I wanted to achieve. Now we'll see how many laps we can do in the 104s, and I can promise you this, I get slower. Because folks, it's getting dark. Why does it get this dark for this race? Got no lights. But anyway, not to worry. Fourth lap, and we're in first place. So we know it's not too difficult. Let's just see how competitive these guys get. And it's just here, I normally have an off, but I didn't this time, thankfully. Yeah, this corner, just brake that a little bit earlier, get into that corner in third gear, accelerate out of this one, try not to go too wide to the left. Keep pushing, sixth gear. Other thing I found about this car, if you try and short shift, it does not accelerate at all. It is shockingly bad for acceleration and short shifting. I'd like to see the tune, I'd like to know how they've set this car up, but you can't into the actual settings pages, so it'd be interesting to understand whether it's like the low rev turbo or the high rev turbo, and quite how they get the fuel mileage out of this thing, because I know I don't show you on here, but I only have it on the brake balance page. But if you go to the fuel page, you'll see there's like 59 laps of fuel. This car, how the hell did it do that? It must be a real mess of a setup. Well, it must be to make the car this undrivable. It's horrible. It's absolutely, that's absolute filth. I'm going to rant about it. And that's it, honest content. That's what I promised to give you, is I do not like this. It says, it's like the first rendition of Tokyo 600, where you just can't get anything to race. It's just horrible. But with that, we're on lap 5, coming to the end of lap 5, and I've got the wrong line here completely. Down to fifth gear, slow it down. I can see in the mirror we've got the enemy, and there we go, off to the left hand side as always. Mr. Inostra, he's coming hard on my rear. Let's see where he goes. Doesn't make an attack this time, so lap 6, 2 to go. We're running consistent 106s, but we are getting slower. We are not leading well at the front. We're not able to really push on. But it's getting dark, and I'm a bit surprised it's getting dark. Did they really run this race this far into the night? No. But anyway, how are we looking? Tyres are good. There's no real wear on the tyres. We're on softs, but what can you do? Racing softs from the start. I don't know how many more times I can say it, because I think you know, horrible, absolutely horrible this race. PD, if you're going to do championship races where the guys have just got to take some messed up setup, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see championship drivers being given absolute ugly cars to wrestle around the circuit. I don't like that idea. So we drop down into the 105s again. No real threat from behind, so let's see if I can mess it up though. Be good if we run this in the 105s again, and that'll give us a chance targeting that 148, I think was the fastest time. Our friends at 152, wasn't it? 152 they got, something like that. But as you can see in the top right hand corner there, my fastest time so far is a 155, and I'm last. Last on the friends list, and I don't know why. Well, I do, it's because I've been consistently crashing all day. But with that being the case, here we go, coming into the final turn. See if we can mess that up. Second place is just under 2 seconds behind. I really think I should be able to put more time on them, but no, definitely not one of my favourite races, and I'm glad it's just a single, only one-time event with a million credits. It's just not fun or friendly, I don't like it. So we finished with a 7:46.77. The last lap was a 1:06 something. Wasn't overly great. But with that being the case, we can see at bottom right hand corner there, 7:46.77. And did you notice at the start I didn't look at the actual top 10 times? Well, It's going to break me out in a minute. I know it is. Ranking board. I go top of my friends list by just over 1.8 seconds, which I'm quite happy with. Top 10 stars, a 7:16.988 is the fastest time, which says they're doing 7 laps in just under 7 laps with a 102 for each lap. So if they do a 109 start lap and they do 102s just under, then they've absolutely nailed the time. My head can't configure that. Maybe it is. Maybe traction control 1 is worth 3 seconds a lap at my fastest, and I've got to run my fastest 3 laps. And I'm just a rubbish driver, folks. I think that's what it's going to be. And with that, you've heard enough of my moaning. I'm normally really positive about these and say you can go and do it. Well, I think you can do it, but I don't want to do any more of these. These are horrible. Absolutely horrible. Don't like it. But with that, we've got 30 seconds left of this. And what I would just like to say, just to finish it off, is I didn't actually get a chance to do those other events either. There's your million credits delivered. I didn't get a chance to do those user intervention events because I wasn't here. There's my 4-star roulette ticket. But if you did, hope you managed to get all the prizes. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks. All the best.